Morning, everybody. It is 8:11 a.m. It is March 3rd, new month. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Lots to go over today. All right. If you are a part of my community Discord, I did just share my analysis over the weekend. I analyzed every indice, every sector, and every stocks that move the market, and look for potential swing trades. And have a couple things to show you guys. All right. Now, let's get right into this here. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the week. Most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. That's my edge in the markets. Also use my market internals, which drive every trade. Just shows me the strength under the hood of the markets. All right. Now, hopefully, every day you guys can join me. All right, join me. Let me give you the story of the markets. Let me give you my analysis, right? And just the way I look at the markets. Every day I give you the recap, the leaders and the laggards, the news, the economic calendar, and then later on I give you the long and short trade scenarios. All right. You can also find me on X at Gonzo719, as well as TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. And of course, if you haven't done so yet, you can join my Discord community server, Influence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage and select that and join up. All right. Now, luckily, this would be my third day possibly of not having any kind of heart symptoms, so hoping to go live today in community Discord. All right. So hopefully you guys can join me. Now, let's move on because we have a lot of things to talk about, right? So the futures watch list here. Let's look at that together. Now, Bitcoin, big Bitcoin really dropped last week, right? And then Trump lifted that up over the weekend by talking about it, that Bitcoin reserve, all that stuff. And of course, I was looking at MicroStrategy and Coinbase over the weekend, and wow, they really were really at nice levels. So just have to see what transpires with that, right? Up 10.27%, but that's just how Bitcoin moves. Ethereum up 6.38, silver's up 2.44, gold up 1.27, the Russell's up 0.77, 10-year yield up 0.71, Nasdaq's up 0.63, crude up 0.56, ES up 0.38, the Dow's up 0.24. VIX is flat. We're at a 19.63 VIX. 30-year bonds being sold today, and the dollar is down 0.66. The dollar is down. Now, on Friday, I said, right, end of the month always does some shenanigans at the end of the day. And most times, portfolio managers, hedge fund, whatever, they want to have a nice end of the month numbers, right? So it stinks because I was long down towards the lows, and the market was heading in my favor, and Trump just happened to be meeting with Zelensky, and it was starting to move. I was like, this is great. This is what I wanted. And what do you know? All of a sudden, when I went to break even right there, the market smashed through my stop at break even. And it was Trump saying that Zelensky didn't want peace. And I was like, you gotta be kidding. That happened to me now 4 times last month. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And then what happened? I was like, you know what? I'm taking a walk. Maybe 10 minutes later, that long would have been a monster, right? That's just how trading goes. But we move on, right? Now let's move on to the Mag 7 Plus. And here we go, right? This is what you would expect. Coinbase up 8.91%. 8.91%. It is up around 8. Is that 18? Would that be 18 or 28? I don't know why my math is escaping me right now. 10 would be 25. 20. Sorry. It's up $20. Coinbase. Tesla's another one I was looking at. Came down to beautiful levels. Now they just got great news too this morning. So they're up 3.08. Broadcom's up 2.19. That also came down to almost fill a gap. AMD's been getting battered. They're up 1.21. Boeing's up 1.07. All right, let's look at some laggards. Is there any? Apple's down 0.22, and Nvidia is down 0.82. Okay, now Nvidia did come down to a key level around 116 and bounced off that level. That was a very key level to bounce off of. That 0.83, okay. Now, like I said, we'll get to my analysis in a little bit. Let's move on. Top sectors. We got Uber leading the pack here. They're up 0.97. Caterpillar up 0.94. Qualcomm up 0.92. Right. Qualcomm came back to a key level as well. Snowflake up 0.85. UPS up 0.31. All right. Those are the leaders. Let's go to some laggards here. Now, these are the usual suspect that you would think, right? Johnson & Johnson's kind of recession-proof. Walmart, Staples, recession-proof, down 0.16. Procter & Gamble, the same thing, right? 0.17. PepsiCo, the same thing, up 0.24. And McDonald's is also a safe haven usually, right? When risk comes off, people flock to those stocks. That's why they're down, right? We just had sector rotation go into those. They're kind of probably a little overbought because you have Staples going towards all-time highs. Okay, now McDonald's is consumer discretionary, but it's kind of a safe haven. Okay, moving on to the granular list here. Let's go with that. Let's see what's going on here. MicroStrategy, no surprise, up 12.93. Mara Mining up 10.92. This is all expected. 10.32. Riot 10.24. Hood 8.42. We'll end with these here. Intel got some good news today. 5.69. IonQ, I was looking at that nibbling. Quantum computing, they came down to a key level. 4.8. SoundHound up 3.79. Palantir up 3%. ARK Investment, you haven't seen that up in a while. Up 2.62. Donald Trump stock 2.57. I think we'll end with the 2%ers here. Win up 2.54. Nubank up 2.42. Las Vegas Sands up 2.33. Casinos getting love, maybe China. And Supermarket Computers up 2.24. And I believe that's Chipotle up 2.19. And we'll end right here with Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza. Let's look at laggards. Is there laggards? There's not much laggards to speak of today. But you have, I think that's Southwest Airlines down 1.80. TLT had a nice move up. Okay. Maybe some profit taking. Tandem Diabetes at 1%. That's really all the laggards, which is not much of them. Remember, a lot of stocks came down to key areas. Okay. Moving on to the sectors. All right, here we go. Sectors. Now, semiconductors leading the pack, up 0.79. Now, semis in technology sector kind of pretty much go in tandem. They broke under their 200-day moving average, broke big key levels. Okay, big key levels driving technology, making it relatively weaker. Okay, so no surprise that semis are leading, right? With Nvidia down though, right? Discretionary, Tesla up 0.75. Industrials up 0.50. That's what your Caterpillar, your Uber. Technology up 0.42. Financials are at pretty much all-time highs. They're the one thing that's not getting weak, or I believe that's because of Trump deregulation. All right. Energy is just in the middle of the muddle. All right. Also, healthcare is looking to break out. All right, they've been rising up pretty nicely. Communications finally got some selling. All right, that's your Google, your Meta. And then here's your laggard, Staples. Like I said, right? They got a nice run in. Okay. I believe Costco reports earnings today, this week. I believe. I could be wrong. Let's see here. Earnings 3.6. Yep. All right. Let's move on. And we're going to look at, what are we going to look at? We are going to look at economic calendar. That's what we're going to look at. Brain froze for a sec. All right, let's look at this week, and we're going to go over this briefly. Now today, we have a lot of data. So probably I'm going to stay away Stay away. It's also Monday morning, new month. Stay away because you got S&P Global, PMI, 9:45, 10 a.m. You got ISM. So I'm gonna probably wait for that dust to settle. All right. Then you got Fed Muslim speaking this week. Basically, you got a bunch of data coming out, right? More PMI, ISMs coming out Wednesday, Thursday, jobless claims, Fed speak. Friday is non-farm payrolls and unemployment, and then more Fed speak. And Fed Powell speaking on Friday at 12:30. So what a banger of a day on Friday. Okay, a lot of data, a lot of data. All right, now let's get into some news here. So we got Coinbase soared 9 point. Well, see, this is all the things I talked about because I said about with Trump. I don't have to speak about it. I already said it. Tesla stock rose 2.4 after Morgan Stanley reinstated the EV manufacturer as its top pick in the U.S. autos. There you go. Nvidia stock fell 0.3 despite the Wall Street Journal reporting that Chinese buyers are ordering the tech giant's cutting-edge artificial intelligence. Let's see, RTX. This is defensive stocks added 2.3%, and Lockheed Martin climbed 0.4 as defense stocks gains as a result of U.S. approving a $3 billion arms deal to Israel. All right. Southwest stock fell 2.3 in the wake of near collision with a private plane on the runway in Chicago Midway Airport last week. Domino's Pizza stock rose 2.7. The pizza chain released its own version of stuffed crust, aiming to win over customers who are willing to spend more on pricey customization. All right, let's see if there's anything here. Last time I checked, it didn't get updated. Oh, it's updated. All right, let's see here. Let's see. NVIDIA, this is what I was talking about, the Intel thing, I believe. Exclusive NVIDIA and Broadcom testing chips on Intel manufacturing process. Okay, that's important. Trump trade threats compound global ocean shipping uncertainty. China targets U.S. agriculture over Trump tariff threat. All right. And again, I'm only going to briefly go over if anything is standing out to me because I don't see anything here. If I don't see anything here, we just move on. Okay. Let's look at the juice. Now, the juice talked about Trump says at 7:41, tomorrow night will be big. Also says Trump mulls ending all ongoing military aid to Ukraine. Right? That's what's going on there. All right. Now, trying to think what I was going to say next. I think we're just going to move on here. I might even, not sure if anybody cares about the upgrade downgrades thing or the price target raises. Um, but we're going to move on to the daily charts. We got stuff to talk about here. All right, so we're looking at daily charts here. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So we got key levels coming. All right. Now, the combination, remember I said this on Friday, watch the shenanigans at the end of the month. Okay? And it stinks that Trump knocked me out of that trade because that would have been a monster. I was literally at the lows. All right? And I just said, you know what? I'm not going to push my luck. And then when I took a walk, that was the trade. Right? So we went all the way to 70.86. More than that, we retraced this move from January 13th. Right? But what did we do? We filled the gap. Boop. We filled that gap. Right? Pushed down. Did a little fake. Did a little bear trap here. Right? And then ripped. But where do we go? Right? Here's that fib retracement, right? Right to the 50%, right to the back of this trend line. There's so many levels here. So many levels here. Okay? Back of the trend line, 100-day moving average, right? 50% retracement of this move. That's where we went. Okay? That's where we went. Now, what's going to be the real big question this week? Okay? It is going to be around the 600, the 598 to 600. Okay? What is that going to be? That would be the previous week's lows. Okay? Previous week's lows. That's going to be your 50-day moving average. and your year-to-date anchored VWAP. This is the year-to-date anchored VWAP. Okay, so for those that you don't understand that, what I love about anchored VWAPs is that it's not a moving average. It's based on people buying the volume, and it's the volume weighted average price. So let's say the beginning of the year, so what I like about it, it basically tells you the average buyer, and what happened here. Underwater, boom, right? The average buyer for this year so far is underwater. That's why I love, and it just happens to be lining up with the 50-day moving average. Okay, so this is the big test for this market. Now, where are we at now? 596.60. 596. Look at this. We're already up here, gapping up right here. And like I said, this is the area where it's either we're going to rip past that and start to go towards all-time highs, or we're going to do a little bull trap and boom, we're going to go lower. Who knows? I don't predict. Okay, let's look at the futures. Boom. There's the futures, right? So we got year-to-date anchor VWAP right there. Right? Right there at last week's lows, 100-day moving average. So in the futures, they're still all below. Now, you don't see it really here. There's different futures. Different futures show different things, right? But in my NinjaTrader on the daily chart of the futures, it hit the 200-day moving average right here. Literally, I think to the tick. Now this sells it down here. I can show you later that in futures in Ninja that it hit the 200-day moving average. Okay, so you can see right here is really the test. Qs. Let's go to Qs. All right, so the Qs. Notice 100% retracement of this move. It even went farther than the January 13th low. Okay, even went lower, right? And then bounced, right? So that 500 level, right, was very key. Now the 500 level was also a very, very large negative gamma level, and those produce volatility. Okay, so once this market goes like this and like this, market makers have to buy back their shorts, and it just rips up, especially a month end. Okay, now 512. That's where we're at. 512. We're all the way. We closed at 508, and we're already at 512. Ridiculous, right? We're right here, almost at the 100-day moving average. Remember, Qs are relatively weaker because I told you the semiconductors and the technology sector really took a hit, along with discretionary with Tesla. They really took a hit. Okay, so let's look at futures. Like I said, now this is farther away. Now it does have the level to look at here would be the 520. 520 is 50% retracement. See that they haven't went back there yet. The ES is already almost there. All right, so you can see relatively weak. Now, why is that, right? QQQ is basically technology only. The S&P 500 has staples, has financials, right? Healthcare that helped it. Okay. Now, let's see what the future. Let's see what the futures are telling us here. Futures came all the way down here, right? Got a nice bounce, right? Just relatively weaker, way under the anchor year-to-date anchor VWAP. It's just under all moving averages, so you could just see in futures are definitely weak. Now, there's a nice bounce, but you expect that after, look at this, boom, boom, boom. I mean, you're going to get eventually shorts covering new longs. Not a surprise, okay? Not a surprise at all. All right. Now, I'm going to show you two charts quickly. Two charts quickly. Let me go to, let me see this. Is this what I wanted to show you? No, not this. Let me see if I can show you. Give me a sec here. Let me just show you. I just want to show you a couple things. Sectors. All right, sectors. All right. So, pretty interesting here. Okay. I'm just going to blow up this one. This is the daily chart, okay, with a volume profile on it, right? So look at semiconductors. So it was just in this mess, in this mess. And look at that most traded price of the year, right here. Say it's called 244. See this big high volume node, right? You can see it just boom, 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 boom. And then look, boom, 200-day moving average is all the way up here. It ripped, right? Ripped. So now, look where it ripped to, a high volume node, right? Right to the start of it, right almost there, right? And markets move from high volume node to high volume node. So it would really, if it starts to come back into this balance, really could rip up all the way to 261, right? Now, what else do we have here? We have technology. Let's look at technology. Okay. High volume node right here, right? It's not the most traded price of the year down here. But look, big high volume node. We were just going like this, and then boom, 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 boom. And what did you do? You close underneath the 100-day moving average, right? Right at the edge here of this high volume node, right? Right at the edge. And now we close under the 200-day moving average. But right now we're at 227. We're above the 200-day moving average. And look, can we go back to all-time highs, right? Third sector we'll look at is discretionary, and let's just see how that looks. Now, discretionary doesn't have as much volume up here, right? Tesla's really been doing a number on it. Okay, so you got support right here at 211. Okay, nice support, bounced, right? Bounced. Let's see how it looks. This is a monthly view profile, and these are little weekly profiles, right? So you can see the little bounce, and let's see what happens here. Definitely can rip with Tesla, okay, and Amazon also has been taking a dive, right? So just wanted to show you that. Just wanted to show you that. All right, let's go back. All right, now we're gonna go right into. Oh, you know what? I forgot to show you guys. Let's go to. Let's go to. No. Okay. Now we're gonna go to. You know what we're gonna go to? Triple headed monster here. And I don't have the right setting, but I'm going to change that right now. Let's just go real quick. Let's look at that bond market. Let's look at that bond market, okay? Triple-headed monster. Let's do it. All right, so remember what I said. I keep talking about this. We took out the 4.4 yield, and I said this poor structure here, we should fall here, right? Pretty nice fall in yields, right at the 200-day moving average. So really a decision to make for the bond market, right? Maybe people take some profits. We bounce up a little bit, create another swing high, right? Underneath the year-to-day anchored VWAP. And we're right. Look at where we're right at. Underneath last year's anchored VWAP. Okay? I've noticed that in a lot of the stocks sectors, we're already, some of them are at last year's anchored VWAP. Okay? Now, let's go to dollar. Remember that wedge? I said that usually if you break out, that's a bullish thing. But look, today you're getting some selling. Interesting, right? So broke out of that wedge. Now, what do we do here? Do we start making a new up going up, or do we break back through? Right? A lower dollar is better for the equities. All right, lower dollar is better for the equities. And we'll end it here with the VIX, the 30 days out of fear. All right, 30 days out of fear. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. All right, so we went all the way up to a 22. We're still at a 19.69, so volatility is well and alive here, and we have nice volume today. Okay, so as long as we stay here, we're going to get some nice moves in the market. Okay, nice moves in the market. All right, that's it. Now, I don't know who's watching, and I don't know if it's distracting, But I'm going to try to show you what I look at doing with the market profile and candlesticks chart. I combine them. To me, I'm trying to figure out a way to like, but I'll show you. All right, I'll show you. So let me get that ready. Maybe it might help some people, right? I'm going to see how I like to work with it. You're going to see what I'm talking about, all right? Right here. I don't know if Rosita's watching. I hope she is. But I don't know if she watches on a TV or a little phone. But or if G-Man's watching, I don't know who's watching. Maybe you can give me your opinion. All right, this is the market profile, my profile. All right, so I have overlaid onto this 30-minute candles. All right, so if I draw out levels, the only thing is they cover up what I like to see. But maybe we give it a shot today. Maybe we give it a shot today. Okay, I'm gonna open this up a little more. Let's move this up. So now you guys see candles with my market profile. Maybe this will, I don't know. Like I said, if I can try to make these opacity down, and I don't know why. Let me see if I can. Let me just see if I can. If I can't, I'm not going to waste anybody's time. I just don't think there is opacity. There's got to be a way to do that. I'm just trying to see. I know I can make these. There's got to be a way. I don't want to waste time here. I'll figure it out later. Okay? I'll figure it out later. So let's try it. I'm going to try it. All right, I'm going to try it here. All right. So let me get my marker out. This is our marker profile, volume profile. I'm going to try it here. Maybe it eventually, I know I will figure it out to how to combine them, because I think it's helpful, because some people look at my marker profile, volume profile, and are like, well, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at, right? All right. Let's try it. So we are now, the one thing is here, you're going to see the market, what it did, right? Right at the open, boom, 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 boom. All right. So let's look at the recap here. Let me see how this looks. Okay. It's not giving me. Now it's not letting me select my profile here. Come on now. Well, anyway, I could still do it because I got the candles now. All right, so the market opened up, right? And pushed up and then slammed back down. And you can see right here, this was a little trap. That was a little trap. And then we just ripped right into the close, right? And close right here. Boop. Okay. And then you can see with the overnight, we've been moving up. Okay. So now, let's talk about some levels here. Right? We have our most traded price of the week. That is 59.65. Okay. So check that out. 59.65 is the most traded price of the overnight. Of the overnight. Okay. I mean, of the overnight. Of the week. Okay. Over the last 5 days, that is the most traded price of the week. Right. Let's look at profile. This is all value area. Remember, this is a rolling profile. We didn't spend a ton of time down here to move value lower, right? So we rip back up. Now these are two big high volume nodes right here and here. Okay, and you can see we're holding support here. Okay, you can see we're selling a little bit right now. All right, I kind of like that because we can see it in candles. Like I said, I don't like it's covering some of the things. Now let me see if I can really quickly, if I send this to the back. All right, that does it a little better. I can see some more of my levels here. We can still see candlesticks in the behind. Let's see if we can work with that. Okay, let's see if we can work with it. All right, so let's talk about levels. Now, we created big single prints here. Okay, after this right here, big spike. Okay, you heard me talking about a spike. That's the spike on Friday, the month end. Okay, that's the spike. Now, spike rules is what are we doing now? Remember, price is right here. Okay, we're accepting over the spike. We're gapping up. We're gapping up. Okay, so now that we're gapping up, this is very bullish, obviously, but we're pulling back, right? We're pulling back. So first thing you want to look at, where 50% retracement of this move, 5909, right there, 5909.75. Okay, now here's the big question. Okay, we're going to talk about Alfie here. I think this is Alfie. Here we go. There's Alfie. There's Alfie. Because why? Why, right? Now you can see in candlesticks how single prints look, right? Right here. Big move, and now you have the elephant on this stick. Okay? And how you want to look at these single prints are emotional. Buying. Very thin volume. You can see the pocket here. You can see the thin volume here. The question is, does the market support this area? If it does, that is bullish. But if it's weak and we start to come through, you can clean that up. And then, woof, you put these buyers underwater, or you put them in question. Okay? So, let's look at some levels. I'm going to try to do, I think I can see it. So, I don't know if this is helping anybody out. It might be just Rosita and she's listening. Let's see how I like these, how I like this, okay? All right. So, let's look at these levels together. See, it's already like playing little jokes on my eyes here. But gapping up, right? So one, here's the gap fill. 59.71 right here. That's gap fill. Okay? That's what we're going to look at here. Okay? Gap fill. So we're gapping up. That's why a lot of the levels down here don't play in, because we're gapping up. Okay? But we have this area here of high volume. Okay? That needs to hold. See, now people are starting to take profits a little bit. So how we're going to look at this gap rules, right? So number one, most bullish is a gap and a go, right? So we can just push up and keep going, right? We open. Second one, this price can come back to the gap fill. I'm sorry, not gap fill, go up, and then gap fill, go up. And then what's a little more bearish? You start moving back into range of Friday's range. And this is kind of an important area right here, because if you lose that, Alfie comes to come to light, right? All right. So let's look at this together. Let's look at it together. So, I'm going to try one more thing here. Just thought of it. Let me see if I can do hollow. All right. Trying to make it more pleasing to my eye here. All right. All right. So, let's look at this together and let's come up with a game plan. Okay. All right. So, looking at these levels, let's do it. We're going to start with some scenarios here. Does it not let me control this? Okay, here we go. Just want to see this. Okay, perfect. All right, they line up perfectly. Okay, which I thought they would. All right. So, let's look at this together. And we're going to start off with the bull case. Okay, with the bull case. Now right here, okay, you got the most traded price of the week. Right here. Okay, so that's a nice area. What do you got there too? You got gap fill. Gap fill. Okay. You want to see that area defended from the bulls, right? So if we come back in here, price is here, we come back in, you just want to see this defended. And I would say it almost goes down to the 59.47 level. That's the overnight lows. That would probably be the last line, all right? And you just want to see, do we come in here and we pop out? We could do some higher lows. And then we are in a supply here. You do have supply here. Okay. So that's the first thing, is gap fill 59.71 and this in these levels. Bulls defend this single prints. I think we balance up here, or we start to make a move higher. Okay. That's kind of honestly the only thing that I am. Now the only thing I would say is this, okay? There could be a bear trap here. Now let's say we move down, we fill the gap, then we work through this. Now this takes a lot of work here, but if the market's not that weak, it could dip into singles. Now if you get bought up in singles, I wouldn't love to be caught in here, but it'd be worth a shot. If we just higher lows, we could melt up and get the last bears trapped here. Okay, that's viable. All right, let's see here. Let's look at the bear side. Okay, so you have supply up here. You have supply up here. Okay, so supply is up here. Okay, right there. We came in. We're selling a little bit. Okay, bulls want to break that supply, but that's pretty big supply zone. Okay, and we just bounced from all the way down here. All the way down here. Okay, now, like I said, we're really dealing with the overnight session here. It's very balanced profile. You see how this is balanced? Very balanced. Okay, price is right here. Okay, so just the opposite here. Okay, this area, you want bears to break it. You want bears to break this area. Okay, so if price comes down into this area, right? Not going to be easy. But they need to do something like this. Boom. Hold, hold, hold. To clean these single prints out. Right? To clean these single prints out. And then, woof. That could go get pretty nasty. Do I think that happens today? Probably not. Okay? What you could maybe expect is one of these clean single prints, and then maybe you get a brown, and we bounce off here. Okay, now what else could happen, right? Let's go back a little bit. All right, what else can happen? So obviously we can come here, fill the gap, go up into supply, hit the overnight highs, lower high, and return back into the middle of the muddle here. That's also another thing that could happen. Okay, so that's the ES. Now I'm trying this. It's throwing me off a little bit with these candlesticks in the back. I'm not sure if it's helping anybody visually because you see candlesticks now. I'm not sure. Okay, this one's throwing me off just because I'm used to looking at it a different way, right? But the NASDAQ I don't have set up like that, so we're going to go back to old school with the NASDAQ. Okay, I'm going to make this bigger. I just want the experience for you guys to be better, because I know when I look at this looks normal to me, but not everybody, right? They're not seeing candlesticks. Okay, so let's look at this together. All right, let's look at the NASDAQ together. Let's look at some key levels. Okay, now profile has a bullish imbalance to it. notice there's no excess here at the top. Notice this is why. All that resistance here never made any progress. That's why this is incomplete. Okay. Remember, this is relatively weaker. Okay. Most traded price is 212 of the week. So you have this value area is right in here. All this is value area, and the price is right here. Okay. So we're not above the most traded price of the week. All right. The 24-hour is down here. I actually made it down to here. But I go more by the RTH first. And definitely this could move. Okay. Now, if we look at the sessions, right? That's the highs. That's your gap fill, 209.44. You got single prints, so you got a spike. Here's our spike, and we're gapping above it. That's bullish, right? That's bullish. Our midpoint's 207.02. That's your 50% retracement of Friday. Okay. Now we already went over gap rules. I don't have to go over that again. Okay. We are in supply right now. We are in supply. Okay. Now we have a new month-to-date VWAP starting here and week-to-date VWAP. So they're together right now, but they will obviously next week they won't be together. Okay. But we have a very balanced profile, just like in the ES. Just like in the ES. Okay. So what are our levels to look at, right? Well, we got gap fill 209.44, right? 209.44. Overnight low 208.36, right? And then you got demand zone right here. A little demand zone here. Most traded price of the overnight's right here, 210. Really, like, you got to break this supply zone, right? You got to break it. So that's what the bulls want to do. Bears want to defend it, right? And again, single prints right underneath the overnight lows. Okay, look what we did in the overnight. We pushed, we opened here, and we went all the way down to here and got bought, right? It just makes sense, right? Do I expect all-out selling today? Probably not, because I think it's going to be a combination of people selling rips and new longs trying to go up. Now, we just bounced a ton, so it's very difficult because I have swing trades that I want to do this weekend, over the weekend, and a lot of them are already up already. So, all right. So let's come up with a game plan. All right, let's come up with a game plan. This area right up here is woof. If you go back to there and you break that 214, let's call it. Wow. All right. Wow, wow, wow. All right. So, let's do this. Let's do right scenario. Let's go right into scenarios here. All right. We're gonna start with the bull. Let's do it right here. You got a demand zone here, which encompasses basically the gap fill. Then you have another demand zone, which encompasses the overnight lows and the spike. Okay, so if I am wanting the thing that I really want to happen, right, I don't go with gap and goes. Okay, so if this thing, which I wouldn't mind, broke this supply, then started to pull back, where would I want it to pull back? Well, that's the most traded price of the overnight, right? So you have this could bounce and you could start to go back to 212, right? You also could pull back, fill the gap, hit this demand zone, and then people buy it up, and that's your chance to go higher up to 212. Now, the big level up here is around 213.40. This is the most traded price of this year. Now, I don't know if we make it up there today, but that's the extreme level. And then you have this bullish imbalance here. Well, if you break 214, you can go right up to 216. That's off the screen, but don't matter. Okay? Now, the bear trap. Bear trap, just like I talked in the ES. Here it is. Here it is, right here. Okay, single prints. If we do go, oh my God, boop, take out the overnight low, but we do not clean these singles. Say it's like right here, and we get bought, start making higher lows. Yeah, that's a bear trap, and you're gonna start to make your way up. Other than this, you start cleaning that. I'm not interested in longs. It's going to be like, this is going to show a little weakness. This is going to be like, all right, longs taking profits, sellers selling a rip. Now there's a battle, right? I don't want to be in that battle. Now, moving on to the bear. Okay, we are in supply already. This is a pretty, and there's more supply up here. Okay, so remember, the Nasdaq's been relatively weak. Nvidia is still underwater for the pre-market. They're down 0.77. That's interesting, right? So here we go. Sellers want to defend this area, right? Sellers want to defend this area. This is where bulls want to defend overnight low in the single prints. Okay, so what could happen, right? What could happen is we come up here and let's just say we maybe take this out a little bit, but then we come back through the open, right? Our first big level is going to be 210. 210 is the most traded price over the overnight. If you take that out, we know there's longs all the way down here and all the way down here. Okay, this is what I'm saying, right? In this environment, nobody knows what can stick in this environment. If you're long here and you're like, oh my God, we're up here. What if this market starts to fall a little bit? You're going to be like, you know what? I'm going to take my profit. I'm not going to sit here and watch this get taken out, right? That's probably what's going to happen. So you take this out, then it's gap fill. You probably get a little bounce, but you could start rolling, right? And now you got overnight lows. What happens if you go to overnight lows in these single prints? And let's say the market takes a turn and under the hood it's weak. Well, you're going to rip through the single prints, okay? And then you're probably going to test the most traded price of Friday, 207.02, and maybe go to the 24-hour most traded price of the week, which is 206.40, okay? Now, this is why this was defended here. This high volume node in the NASDAQ was defended on Friday, right almost to the tick, okay? Now, like I said, I also think, let's see door number 3. I didn't say this in the ES, but basically I also think, right? Look at this big move. And what did we do? Came all the way down here, bear trap, bought up, right? Bought up. Big time move. Now we came down here again, bought up. We're right here. So you got longs, shorts, now longs in extremes, right? So I think this is just on an emotional, psychological level. If I'm long from down here and I see anything like this, whoop, I'm going to start taking profits, which could cause a move, right? And then new longs might try to come in. And what I'm basically saying is those are two big moves, and we could just do this today. Possibility. Okay, it's a possibility. Now I'm going to leave you with a little bonus. I know I've been long-winded today. I want to show you just how markets move. Okay? How markets move. And this is my volume profile chart, and it's kind of like an express chart of monthly and weekly and year to date and rolling year profiles. Okay? Just want to show you how markets move. Okay? They either are basing or trending. Range bound, trending, whatever you want to call it. Consolidation and trending. That's all markets do. Okay? They're either, like I said, consolidating or they're trending. Now, in volume profile, it just shows you very easily on your eyes where the bases are, right? Where those consolidation points are. So I just want to show you what happens here. Look at where we are now. This is a high volume node right here. This is a rolling, the heat map is a rolling year and the white is this year, right? So this is high volume node here. Notice, right, how we were here for a while. Boom, trended, right? What held us? Down here, this high volume node. And where did we go right back to? Right back to here. Right back to this high volume node. You see what I'm saying? So this is very crucial. This area right now. Okay, let me clean that up. I just want to make sure everybody understands this. You This is an area, right? This is an area. And this is an area. High volume nodes. Okay? So, we're either doing one or two things. Either we're going to go like this, hold this area, and start to make our way back to here, or we're going to lose this area and go back and go to here. Now, when I say here, let me give you levels. To the upside, that's 60.85. To the downside, that is 58.30. It's how it works. This is really how it works. Okay? Every time I say this to myself, every time I show this to myself, I'm like, oh, that's easy. But you can make trading complicated as you want it. Now let's just look at the Nasdaq real quick and see the difference. Now I want to show you there's a big difference. All right, real quickly, let's use this marker. All right, so here you can see is this year, and I want you to notice something here. It's a bell curve. Most traded price of this year is right here. So we're a very balanced market in the Nasdaq this year. Okay, this year. Now, if we do what I just said, look where we just were. High volume node from the past. Where did the market bottom out at? Right there. Right? Where's our high volume node? Right here. This is from the past. This is not from this year per se, but there's one right here. That's not a big one, right? This is more of a bigger one for this year. So let's just push this out, right? And so came down here, that level, right? Let's look at the levels. That level, let's just round it about to 204.73, right? 204.73. We got a little high volume node here, but that's from last year. I will go more with this one from this year. That's 213.34, right? And price is right here. So we're either going to do this or we're going to go down. Okay, because what do we know markets do? Look, if you just look at candlesticks, right? What do we do? Base, trend, base, trend, base, trend, right? Base, trend. That's all we do. All markets ever do. Okay? And it's beautiful in these charts because I can see weeklies. Every one of these profiles is a weekly. Every one of these white outlines is a monthly. 4-hour candlesticks, and I got my white is this year's profile, and the heat map is a year ago, a rolling year. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully that made sense. All right, hopefully that made sense, and that's gonna do it for me. I'm already running late here. All right, so give me some love. Give me the like, smash that like button. That would mean a lot to me. Of course, please, hopefully you can join me every morning. Give you the scoop, the market story. Today I blabbed a little too long, but hopefully you still got something out of it. All right. Yes. Hopefully you guys can join me in the Discord server today. That's Elfie. That is Elfie. Elfie is in the mix today, but Discord server, Confluence Trading. I'm gonna go live today. So hopefully you join me. I know I've been on and off because of my heart, so I'm like probably losing some of you because I go in and out. Apologize for that. I can't help my health, and hope I'm getting that looked at, by the way, in like a week from a specialist. So there is a plan for that. So everybody, stay patient. No trade is a trade. Hopefully you're green today, right? Cash is a position, and let the dust settle after 10 a.m. because we got news. All right, everybody, have a great day, and hopefully you can join me live. I'm going to try to do it with probably around 9:35, 9:45, 9:40. All right, because remember, I can talk a lot before these data comes out. All right, everybody, have a great day.